Welcome to the Hair, Babes and Business podcast. My name is Jessica Marie and I am an online educator and hair, beauty and business coach. I worked behind the chair for 14 years and successfully fully booked out 2 of my own hair salons before taking on this role. I have learned the many intricacies of hairdressing and running a spa or salon business. Through Hair, Babes and Business, I, alongside other industry experts, am sharing valuable knowledge to help you grow your business and fast track your success. I am so grateful that you have found our community and have decided to become a part of it. I can't wait to work with you and to move progressively towards a new era in the hair and beauty world. Thank you for being here today. Now let's begin. Hello guys and welcome back to the Hair, Babes and Business podcast. My name is Jess and today I'm answering a super juicy question that one of the Hair, Babes and Business community members wrote in about, and that question was, "Hey beautiful, I've been listening to your podcast on Spotify. I'm loving it. I'm up to number 13 at the moment. I'm just wondering, and I don't know if you've already done it yet or not, so feel free to be like, babe, just listen to the rest of them and you'll get there. Do you have an episode about hiring staff? At the moment, I'm really struggling to find new staff. I'm not sure if it's the way I'm advertising. I always thought that word of mouth has been the best way to hire people, but at the moment, I'm really needing to hire a new staff member and I'm really struggling. Any advice?" I just wanted to say thank you so much for reaching out and asking this question, because I think this question is so relevant right now. I think a lot of hairdressers are having a really hard time finding their dream team. And so this is something I really do want to talk about. Before we go too deeply into today's topic, I did just want to say that I have recorded an episode prior to this called 6 Things I Wish I Knew Before I Hired Staff. And I would really say that that episode goes really hand in hand with this episode. And I would really highly recommend going and listening to that episode as well, because I think they're both going to back and support each other. So if you can listen to both, you're going to have like the best of both worlds and kind of have a really good idea going into your hiring process, what to look for and how to advertise. But I just wanted to recommend that. I'm going to link that in the show notes as well, so you can easily find that episode if you want to go back and listen to that as well. But I think that you've raised such a valid point, and I think this is something that a lot of hairdressers really struggle with. And I have noticed that there are some people online doing this exceptionally well, and I think there are also a lot of hairdressers struggling, because the reality of it is times have changed so much. I started my career in hairdressing 15 years ago, which really, in the scheme of things, it sounds like a long time, but it really isn't that long, I don't think, compared to how things have changed, how rapidly things have changed and how quickly the industry has grown. And something that I know that's changed so dramatically from the time that I started versus where I am at now is the way that we advertise for work. And I think that's really important, and it's something so relevant that you brought up there, because I know that when I first applied for my first job, I answered an ad in the paper, and now we don't even really have papers, and if we do get the paper, we're not going to be looking for jobs in it, and I don't really think people are advertising for jobs in it either. So I think it's really important to kind of just recognize the fact that things have changed so dramatically in the way that we advertise, and it's changed a lot in that period. It's really been a lot of different avenues to go down to where we are at now in the way that we advertise. And so I just really want to recognize that and just say yeah, I totally get that you would feel overwhelmed in how to advertise, because it's just changing constantly, and it feels like this is the way to do it, but then the next minute there's another way to do it, and then the next minute there's another way to do it. So I really just wanted to recognize the fact that you are not alone in that, and so many people are feeling the pressure of the fact that this is totally a different game than it was even a year ago, let alone 10 years ago. So please understand and don't feel so overwhelmed, because I think a lot of people are struggling with trying to keep up with what is relevant all the time now. It is an ever-changing journey. So I just wanted to really recognize that you said that and say that I hear you, I understand, and I understand the overwhelm, because it's a lot. I also just wanted to, something that you said really just stood out to me about word of mouth, and I think that's really important. It's important to recognize that from a business point of view, word of mouth is so important, and to be able to say to your clients, I'm looking for someone, if you can recommend someone, and to be able to say to fellow hairdressers within the industry, I'm looking for someone, do you know anyone who's looking? Or even just being able to talk to reps and people within the industry, whether it be the person that works at the suppliers or an educator or whatever it may be, just being able to reach out and say, like, I'm looking for someone, do you have any recommendations? That's a really great way to try and find people. And I think recommendations and word of mouth is always a good way to go. I just did want to mention something on the flip side of this. I'm going to get like a little bit negative for a second. Not negative, maybe controversial. I don't even know what the correct term is, but I just think it's really important to actually point this out. Like, word of mouth within the industry is so important, and especially where I'm from in Adelaide. Like, Adelaide is small and everyone knows everyone. The word of mouth thing is really important, and as a hairstylist, it is just important to think about the fact that the actions that you take within the salon, and whichever salon that you work in, whether that's over multiple salons, like, those things do have consequences. And so if you are a really loyal stylist, you do the right thing by your employers, you show up to work on time, you do the best work that you can, you give it your all and be the best that you can be, like, that's going to make you really employable. Employable, is that even a word? But you know what I mean? Like, that's going to really make you attractive to anyone looking for staff when they can see that you've got a really good resume, you've got great references, and they can check up on you, and everyone who's going to talk about you is going to have positive things to say. Like, that's going to make it much more easier for you to find a job within the industry. If you're the type of person that's constantly moving around, kind of leaving a path of chaos wherever you go, stealing clients from different salons and all those sorts of things, like, I just think, I don't want to be negative and I don't want to be nasty, but it is just important to recognize the fact that your actions do have consequences. And if you're not really taking care of the people who are trying to take care of you, it is going to make you less desirable when people are looking for employees to try and find the right person for the job. And I just think that's really important to talk about and bring up, because you might just think it's a temporary thing at the salons that you're at, but it actually does have long-term effects and long-lasting effects. So try and be a good person, try and be a good employee, try and do the right thing by the people who are looking after you, because that reputation does go with you wherever you go. And I just think that's really important to talk about and recognize. But something that I'm really passionate about, and this is something that I really wanted to talk to you about today, and I think it is so important to talk about. Obviously, there are a bunch of different avenues you can go down to advertise for staff, and a couple of those different ways which I just wanted to quickly touch on is that you could advertise, like I said before, in your local supplier stores, within your local community. Like, talk to your reps, talk to the people who do your education, ask them if they know of anyone who's looking for a job. Tell them that you're looking for someone, so if they hear of someone who's looking for a place to go to, you've like planted that seed, and people will keep that in mind and they will share that. Another way that's really good to go is obviously online. I think if you can put ads on things like Seek and Job Search and all those sorts of things, that's a great place to advertise. It's quick and easy. You can get the job up there super quickly, and if people are looking, they can find it. The problem that I have with that is that sometimes people don't take those places as seriously, because I know there are a lot of jobs and a lot of companies that advertise on those websites, and then it's like they almost forget that they've put the ad there, and then people never hear back, they never have any follow-up, and sometimes that can be a little bit off-putting. So I don't always necessarily know if that is the best way to go. In theory, it sounds like it's the best way to go, but I don't always necessarily know if it is. And another thing that I always recommend is posting in any like local hairdresser community groups. I think that's another really great way. But ultimately, at the end of the day, and this is what I really wanted to talk to you about today, I think the absolute best way to go about advertising to find staff now is literally using your social media. And this is something that's been like a bit of a controversial topic, because I think for so long we were so programmed to believe that social media is purely to share our work and purely to tell our clients about who we are and what we do, and really the exchange should be hairdresser showing client. And I think that we kind of forgot that we really can use social media as a tool to attract other hairdressers into our space as well. And I just want to really shift your way of thinking on that, because I really truly do believe that the best way to advertise someone and to find the perfect staff member is to use your social media. And I think the two best platforms to do that on is Facebook and Instagram. And if I'm being completely honest with you, I think Instagram is the best platform to use, but I think Facebook has its place as well. I think TikTok and things like that are not so good for advertising for staff, but Instagram and Facebook would be the two platforms that I would really use. Now, you can do this in a couple of different ways. You can make a post, you can do a photo, or you can do a reel or a video. And that would really be the way that I would recommend going about this. The reason why I love this so much is because if you make a little reel or a little video, you can get so much more information in so much more quickly. So I think it's better to have like, you know, a 1 to 1.5 minute video explaining who you are, what you do, who the perfect team member would be, and how they can go about applying for the job, than having like 7 different slides full of like heavy information writing plus a massive caption that's just like really overwhelming, and people read the first 3 sentences and get bored and click off. Like, and I'm just being really honest. Like, I think I was hearing something the other day that was saying you have 3 seconds on social media to capture someone's attention. And so that's where those hooks and things like that are so important. Like starting a video off like, are you looking to find your new dream salon to work in? Are you looking to be a part of the newest dream team? We're looking for a new member and we want you. Like getting those really quick hooks and quick punchlines that are going to get people's attention and get them in. After that, you can share more information because you've already got them in, but those first 3 seconds are all you have to get someone's attention. And so it's really important to make sure that you're doing that within those videos. But I think that is the best way to advertise stuff. Now, this is something I've really seen within the Instagram community that I've created. I follow everyone who follows me. Like, I want this to be a community where we all see what each other's doing. We all follow each other's work. We all see different ideas and everything. Like, that's the whole point of this. I didn't want it to be some exclusive thing where it was like, I have 800 followers, but I'm only following 3 people. Like, that's not what I'm here for. Like, I genuinely want this to be a community. I want to see what people are doing. I want us to all like feed off of each other and support one another. Like, that is what I'm all about. And so I see things like this all the time. I see people making these little videos where they advertise for a staff member. And I've seen such cool things, like cool things within the salon where they're kind of showing the work they do. They're showing the salon environment. They're talking about who they are as a team and what they're looking for to bring into their space, but also just really fun things where it's like they've gone out to like a restaurant and they're all having a drink together and they're all sort of just talking about who they want to bring into their team. And what I love about this is that you can really show your personality, you can really show your salon's personality, and you can really make sure that you are putting out there the kind of person that you want to attract back in. And I just think that this is such a great way to go about it, because I think it's going to weed out a lot of the wrong people before they even drop a resume off, because they're going to look at your video and be like, wow, this is exactly the kind of team I want to be a part of. That's the energy, that's the style, that's the personality type I want to be a part of. Or they're going to look at it and be like, oh, no, like that is not at all what I want to be a part of. I want to have a salon that's this, and this, and that salon's this, and this. So I'm not even going to apply for that because that's not what I want to be a part of at all. And so I think that's a really, really great way, first of all, of attracting the right person, but it also just creates this like level of comfortability for the person who's applying for the job. They can get a vibe for you, they can get a vibe for your salon, and they can be like, yeah, this is like what I'm looking for. This is great. Like, this is something I want to be a part of. So I just think that's a really great way of advertising. This is something I don't really talk about super often, but I think in this scenario, it's such a great way to spend money on paid advertisement. If you can actually pay for your ad to get a particular reach, it's really going to target the exact audience that you're looking for. I'm going to use Adelaide as an example just because it's easier for me to talk about. But say, for example, I've created this ad that I'm looking for a staff member. I can really nail that down. I can say like however much money I want to spend on this ad, I want it to reach a 10-kilometer radius of the Adelaide CBD. I want it to specifically reach men and women between the age of 25 to 35, and I want it to target people who search hashtags like hairdresser, hairstylist, hair, styling, all those sorts of things. So those ads are very targeted and they're really going to reach the people that you're actually looking for. So I think that's a really great way to take advantage of paid advertisement. I think it's really going to get your reach to where you want it to be. And it's going to make sure that you're kind of attracting the right people to look at that ad. So that's another thing that I would recommend looking into. Obviously, you need to look into that for your own salon space and see if that's something that's going to work for you or not, and see if you can kind of adjust it to be exactly how you want it to look. But that's something that I would really recommend. It's a little bit time consuming. Like, you do have to play around with it a bit, but I think it's worth looking into, because we all know trying to find staff is a hassle and it's hard. And so this might take you a couple of hours of your time to set up, but then it's really going to be directing it to the right people, rather than having like an ad that you just put out there willy-nilly, and then you're attracting all different types of people, having to go through this process with so many people and like really not finding the right fit. I think if you can kind of do the hard work to get the ad out there and get it advertised to the right people, it's going to make that process of finding the right person a lot easier in the long run. So that would be something that I would really recommend. Now, touching back on the episode that I've recorded previously that I would also recommend that you go and listen to, there's just two things that I kind of want to take from that I want to bring into this episode as well, because I think it is so hand in hand and it's so important that we address this. First of all, I just want to say, like, be super clear on the person that you're looking for. Like, have an idea in your mind of the person that you want as your team. Like, get really clear on your vision, get really clear on what you need someone to be bringing into your space, get really clear on where you want to take that person. Like, know that really well so that you really are going into this with the right mind frame and the right mindset of finding the right person for your team. This is, like, I don't want to, like, say anything negative, but I know what it's like when you're desperate for someone, that sometimes you might overlook some red flags just because you really, really want to bring someone into your space to help. But in the long run, does it really help if it's not the right fit? Like, it can seem like it's a bit of a band-aid solution, but if that person's not the right fit for your team and not the right fit for your salon, it can lead to much worse problems down the track. So I would really just highly encourage anyone who's looking to bring someone new into their team to be really clear on who it is that you're actually looking for, and making sure that you are welcoming the right person into your team, because it is so important. And another thing that I will preach about until I'm blue in the face, 3-month trial period, non-negotiable. Because someone can show you how amazing they are in the first week, but 3 months in, when they're tired and they're exhausted and they don't want to put on that happy face anymore, that's when you're going to get to see the true them and really figure out if, when they are not at their peak, are they still the right fit for your team? I think that's a non-negotiable, and that's something I would really encourage doing. And another thing that, again, I harp on about this, but it's so, so important. If you have any issues or any problems or any questions about this person, contact Fair Work Australia before you do anything. It's always best to make sure you're covered before you do anything, to make sure that nothing bad comes back to you or nothing bad comes back to your business if it doesn't work out with this person. It's just a phone call. It might be annoying, you might be on hold, you might be on the phone for an hour or whatever, but in the long run, to protect yourself and your business is so, so important. Now, I know the next thing you're probably going to ask me is, Jess, do people really look for jobs on people's Instagrams? Yes, they do. And I know this because, like, think about it. Like, let's just say, for example, you're going out with your girlfriends for dinner and they've suggested a new restaurant and they like, this is where we're going to go. This is the kind of food it is. Let's book it. And it's all booked. What's the first thing you do? You go check out their Insta, you go check out their Facebook, you try and find a menu, you want to see what the place looks like, you want to like find out what kind of food, you want to find out what kind of drinks, right? Like, it's important because you want to know like the dress code, and you want to know like what kind of food you're going to be eating, how much money do you need to budget for the meal. Like, those things are important. You try and gather as much information about that place as you can, so you kind of go in with a bit of an idea of what the night's going to look like and all those sorts of things. Make sure that you are dressed appropriately, kind of get a vibe for the place, right? I promise you, not every person, okay? I will admit that, not every person, but more people are than are not, are going to search and stalk businesses before they apply for jobs at them. And so I would say that if there is somebody in the area who's looking for another job, they're going to start checking out other salons and just kind of put some feelers out there to see what these businesses look like, see how these businesses run, see what the teams look like, etc., to kind of get an idea as to whether or not they want to work for this place or not, to see if it's the right fit, to see if it's the kind of vibe that they're trying to go for. Like, they want to see if it's the kind of style that they're used to or the kind of work that they do. It's important to find these things out because, first of all, you want to make sure that you're going to enjoy that place, But second of all, you want to make sure that you're the right fit for that place, because there's no point in applying for somewhere that is just completely different to what you do. And the work is completely different to what you do. You end up being really miserable there. So I think that people absolutely start scoping out places before they even make the decision fully to leave their salon and go somewhere else. But I also think that it's so good to have those ads there, even make it a pinned post, so that people who are looking can be like, oh, this person's hiring. And then it like kicks their butt into gear that they're like, if I want to get a job here, I need to do something about this. I need to come speak to you. I need to drop in a resume, like whatever it is that they need to do, send a message just so that you can see their work on their Instagram profile or whatever it may be. When they see that post there, they're like, okay, here's like, I've got to shoot my shot because I might miss out on this opportunity if I don't do that. And I think it does really, it's that call to action, and it makes people move quicker. And it just shows that you're prepared and you're ready to invite someone new into the space as well. So that is something that I would really, really highly recommend doing. I really do think that ads on social media is the way of the future. I think this is the way that things are going to be done from now on. And I would just really highly recommend to you, like, look at some of the big salons around you and within your area and go and see if they have posts up where they're advertising or looking for somebody new, because it's really helpful to see how other salons do it. And then you can kind of take that concept and adapt it to your space and your salon and what you're looking to achieve. But just to get a bit of an idea, and like when you see it firsthand, you're like, this is so cool. Like, I've seen people do this in the hair, babes and business community, and I'm like, I want to work with them. Like, that looks amazing, and they're selling you that position. And it sounds kind of crazy because I know that the whole point of like getting a job is you're finding the right person to bring into your space. But I think if you can do it with that attitude of like, I want to sell this role to someone and show them why my salon is the best salon to work at and show them why they want to be a part of my team, that is gonna be the thing that's gonna attract like the good stylists and the people that have the attitude that you want within your space. If you can sell it to them to attract the right person in, and then they have to sell themselves to you, it's like an exchange. But I know, yeah, maybe that sounds a bit weird because like it used to just be like, I'm looking for a person and you need to fit in with me. But I think now it does go both ways. And especially if you are looking for really good staff who are going to be loyal, who've got the good skills, who've got the good attitude, like you also need to sell yourself a little bit too and show people why they would want to work for you. And on that note, I do want to talk about something because I think this is a common problem that people are facing. And I don't want to suggest to the person who sent this question in that this is a problem on their behalf at all, because it's definitely not. But just for anyone who's tuning in, like, we've gotten to a point now in the hairdressing industry where there's so many rent-a-chair options, rent-a-space options, people going out on their own, doing salons from home, having their own businesses. I think to find someone who does just want to be a staff member, whether that be a manager, a senior stylist, have special areas that they have, whatever it may be, but not actually be a boss, is harder and harder to come by these days, especially for someone who is a good worker and for someone who is highly skilled, because most of those people do end up going on to have their own businesses. So to find those people is hard, and it can be difficult to find the right person. And I think this is why it is important that you're selling your salon and selling your team and selling your vision to attract those people into your space. Like, they kind of have a little bit of an upper hand in the fact that they know that people like them are hard to come by, and they can be a bit picky and they can be a bit choosy. So it's important that you are also catering to that need in the fact that you have something really good to offer. And so it would be beneficial for that person to work for you than it would be to work for somebody else. And yeah, I know that this has kind of changed the way that we advertise and changed the way that we do business. I think this is a good thing. It's just different. And so we've got to come at that concept with an open mind as well. And another thing that I wanted to mention in this podcast, which again, by no means do I want to relate back to the person who sent this question, because I think this person's doing an absolutely incredible job. And again, I look at her salon and I think it'd be amazing to work for her and work in her space and be a part of her dream and her vision, because she's doing incredible things for the industry. But just for anyone else who's listening, I think it is important to just recognize as well that, again, these people are in demand because there's not that many of them out there. And so if you're not doing the right things by your staff, and you're not paying super, and you're not providing good work conditions, and you're not like being fair in the way that you manage and the way that you look after a team and looking after them as much as they're looking after you, then it's going to be hard to attract the right people into your space. You really need to make your space somewhere that's desirable for people to work in. And I just wanted to say that as a generalization. I am not by any means saying this to the person who wrote in, because this is not a problem for you at all. But I just wanted to make that clear to anyone else who's listening, because I think that old school mentality that was hairdressers are a very toxic environment, and you work your guts out and you work through your lunch break and you don't get time for a meal. You might get time for a cigarette and a Red Bull, but nothing else. And you know, you don't get any breaks and you're looked down on if you take a sick day or a holiday. Like, those conditions are not acceptable anymore. And we have to get rid of that mindset that was acceptable for such a long time. Like, no, if you want good people on your team, you have to be taking care of them too. And I just think that's really important to acknowledge and talk about, because it has to go both ways. So again, nothing about that I'm saying is towards the person who wrote in. I just thought it was important to mention within this podcast because it's relevant to what we're talking about. So I hope that covers the question and helps answer the question. Like I said, there are other methods about going about this, like talking to people. Like you said, that word of mouth is so important. I really recommend saying to clients, like, I'm looking for someone. If you know anyone, please send my information their way. Please talk about me, tell them there's a job going. Like, I think that's a great way to go about it. And I do think it's good to have your ad in places like your local suppliers, with your educators and all that sort of thing. But I really do truly believe that the number one way to find the best staff at the moment is to advertise it on social media and literally create content and create posts advertising people and making it clear what you're looking for, what you have to offer, and who you're looking to bring into your team. I hope that information is helpful. I hope that you have gotten something out of this and that this feels like a nice way to head in a new direction to get what you're really looking for. And I wish you the best of luck in finding the most incredible aligned person for your team. I know it's so tricky, and I just want to say to you, hold your head up high, because I know that it is really tough in that period when you're looking for someone and you just feel really tired and exhausted and burnt out. But I wish you the best of luck in finding the most perfectly aligned person for your team. And I just hope that this person brings you so much abundance and so much joy into your team and your business. And I really hope that you do find the right person very soon. And one last thing I did just want to say is that if anyone within the community, mostly Australia and UK based is where most of my followers are from, but I mean anywhere in the world really, if you have a spot open or you're looking for someone to join your team, you're most welcome to reach out to me and share the ad or the content that you've created, or share the job description or whatever it is that you're looking for, and I would be more than happy to share it with the community. Like I said, I've got over 800 followers now. There are a lot of hairdressers from all over Australia, all over the UK, but actually all over the world. And if you want to share a job description, I'd be so happy to share it with the community. Even if one of my community members doesn't necessarily want the job, they may know people who are looking within your area. So I would be so happy to share a post or an ad or content or anything like that if you would like me to do that too. I will never do anything just off my own back, but if you want me to do something, please reach out and I will always share anything that anyone ever sends to me. So please know that door is always open to you as well. I would be so happy to try and help in any way that I possibly can as well. Well guys, I hope that you absolutely loved today's episode. I absolutely love recording today's episode. I think this was a great question and I hope that you got so much helpful information out of it. Guys, if you ever have a question or something that you want to ask, please send me a DM. I love answering your questions. I love being able to help in any way that I can. So please, if you ever have anything you want to ask, just send me a message. I'd be so happy to help in any way that I can. And also guys, I'm always looking for people who want to share anything at all, their story, their business journey, something they're doing within the industry, anything like that. If you've got anything like that at all that you would like to share, please don't hesitate to send me a message, reach out through the Instagram DMs. I would love to talk to you, hear about your story, and see if it is a potential match for the podcast. So please don't hesitate to reach out if there's something you want to share as well. Guys, if you love today's episode, I would love your support. If you could give it a good review, a thumbs up, a follow, a subscribe, wherever it is that you're watching, that would mean the absolute world to me. Your support in doing those things really helps me to be able to keep doing this. So I would really appreciate the support in any way possible. And if you haven't already, come join me on the Instagram and the TikTok, where I share inspiration throughout the week as well. And also we can get in touch and talk to one another and chat. So that would be really great. I'd love to see you on any of the platforms. I just want to thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for your support. It means the absolute world to me. And guys, I just hope that you're having the very best day. I hope you're having a great weekend. This podcast is going up so late because I've just had the craziest time trying to get it recorded. I had it all recorded and then I tried to upload it, and then there was something wrong with the file, and then the file became corrupt and I couldn't even use it. So this is the second time I've sat down to record it, and I'm really hoping it's Saturday. So I'm really hoping that this will be out tonight and you guys will be able to listen before I post Monday's episode, which I'm so excited to share with you. Monday is such a good episode, so look out for that one. But guys, thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate your love and support. And I look very forward to being back in your ears on Monday, all being well, hopefully no more technical issues. And I look forward to sharing that episode with you then. I hope you guys are having a fabulous weekend. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I hope you have the best week next week. Thank you guys so much. Have a great one. Mwah.